All right, we got some soul, we got some blues, we got the great sound right here on the show on Shaw TV, episode number 81. My, how time flies. Our musical guests in behind me right now sounding so sweet. We have Nathan Tinkham and Harmonica George McConkey. Now, Nathan is a singer-songwriter, instrumentalist, a grizzled veteran of the Canadian folk and country music scenes. While George, as you may have guessed by his nickname, he's a stunning harmonica player. He's played with many of the bigger names of the Canadian music scene, all while owning his skills up in the Yukon. We have some more great tunes and an interview with Joni later on this hour. Also on this show, another very creative fellow we have here is Mr. Michael Berends. We'll have him for a regular Magic Moments with Michael segment. And you know, it's never too early to turn your toddler into the joys of being a word nerd down at the library. So Joanne Hogan is here to speak with Nathan McKay from the North Nanaimo branch of the Vancouver Island Regional Library about their Toddler Time program. This is a great program with activities and games to help craft your little one into a Jane or Johnny appropriate. So, oh, by the way, don't be confusing Toddler Time with tater tots, which is my diet. All right, here on the show, of course, we love dropping science on you. So Brian Sugiyama is going to speak with Morgan West, who's the outreach coordinator at the Nanaimo Science and Sustainability Society, about some very cool school science programs. I believe they may have some demonstrations for us as well. This also won't be the only segment where Brian tries to shed the light on a subject, as he'll be trying his hand at lantern making. Yeah, the guys that actually like that one. Again, we trying his hand at lantern making with artist Joanna Gallipo. Now, we also have one of our regular Conversations with an Author segment as Joanne sits down with author and counselor Lorelie Rozzano, who has drawn from her own experience to write some very powerful books, drawing from addiction, but also with the aim of empowering those with education and support. So these books. So again, very powerful segment here. Really glad to have her on the show. But first, sticking sort of with spirit and everything, we got to start off with Michael and a very special guest to take us along those paths. So, we don't like to harp on the bad news. We got a blues harp and some good news. It's the show right here on Shaw TV.
Welcome to the show right here on Shaw TV. Today I have a very special guest. Her name is Michelle Fire-Riverheart, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about creativity from the heart and soul. Welcome to the show, Michelle. How are you?
Thank you so much. Great.
Good.
Excited to be here.
That's terrific. Hey, we have a whole bunch of stuff here that you have, and a lot of it's super interesting. Now, you're a shamanic coach. Did I get that?
I'm a shamanic coach, yes.
So what exactly is a shamanic coach?
So we help people on their journeys do healing work, their own healing work. We do it with various things, with tools, with art, all kinds of things. It's basically First Nations medicine that I have studied and am grateful for that knowledge and help put it together in formats that might be more available to the general population.
Ah, that's amazing. Now, you use art to do a little bit of this, and we see a bunch of pieces of artwork here, and some of it's super interesting. And this piece here you were telling me about. Yeah. What is that?
So this is a womb bowl. So ladies, your womb. Gentlemen, you have one too. We call it your point of power. But this was really I designed this workshop to help women take back the power of their womb and to own the roundness and the creativity of our bodies. So this is actually a mold of my belly.
Wow.
The idea is that either when you're pregnant or not, you make a cast of your belly and then you decorate it outside and in, and you can then fill it with stuff. But it's to help you own that beauty and power that you have. So that's one of my workshops.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, this is a talking stick. Talking sticks are First Nations tradition, and we use them to help communicate. So I know I, for one, have made so many faux pas in communication, not understanding another person or them not understanding me because we talk in a different language, right? Both English, but different. So you make your own talking stick, and I have a workshop to teach you how to use it so that you can use it in groups, with your family, or just in partnership.
Well, so this is something that you make. It's a personal thing.
It's a personal thing, yeah.
Wow, and when you have a talking stick, how does that work?
Well, it's mirroring. I mean, there's lots of different ways that people have done this type of work, but it's basically so whoever holds the stick is able to hold the floor and speak without being interrupted. No judgments, no nothing said to them. They get to have the floor and have their words and and have the floor to speak whatever needs to be spoken. And then it gets handed to the next person who then, if you're working in partnership,
they get those rights too.
Yeah, they get those rights. Or if you're working out a problem, you mirror it back. So then you take the stick and say, okay, what I heard, Michelle, is that correct?
Oh, wow.
And then you have your turn to speak if you've heard me correctly.
Wow, and these are all things that you've made?
Yeah, I made this as well, but the idea is to put this knowledge out into the world so that other people can have a tool for communication that works effectively.
Wow, and we have something here too. This is a big shell and it has something.
Okay, so this is a smudge bowl. This particular shell, an abalone shell, tends to be the traditional, but basically if you have a round shell or any container that's not going to burn, it's great. Smudge is for purification of your energy body. And this particular mix, most smudges are sage, at least sage is in them, and that's for purification. Then I add cedar for balance and lavender for beauty.
Wow.
And so you light it and then you smudge all up and down and around yourself, or you can have someone else do it as an honoring.
Well, that's great. You know, this stuff is so interesting, and I'm so happy that we have you here a little later on in the show too. We're going to wrap up this little segment and have you back in just a little while. But for now, I think we're going to go to Joanne on the main set.
Hi, I'm really delighted to present Nathan McKay. He works as a librarian at the Nanaimo North Library, the brand new library in Nanaimo. And I'm just so looking forward to hearing you share about what you do at the library.
All right, thanks for having me. I'm Nathan McKay. I'm the children's librarian at the brand new Nanaimo North branch. If you haven't been to a library in a while, it's definitely worth checking us out because it's a beautiful building and we offer a lot of awesome things these days. So the thing I'm here to tell you guys about is the programming that I do for kids. And so every week we have different programs for kids. So every single week I do a toddler time program, which Matt talked about, a preschool story time, and a baby time, which is for 0 to 18-month-old babies.
So that must be very interesting to work with people in that age range, like just starting off in the world, if you will, right?
Absolutely. So we do a lot of songs and finger plays and rhymes and bounces for babies, and the parents have a great time and the babies do too. We've had our biggest audience so far has been about 72 people for the baby time. So it's really neat to get that many babies and moms in one room having a good time.
I can imagine the volume level must be interesting.
Well, it's amazing because you would imagine that with that many kids, there'd be a lot of crying, but they have such a great time that it's very rare to hear any crying at all.
Yeah, so this must be due in part to the fact that you share your music with them.
Absolutely, yeah. So my other job is as a musician in town here. So it's nice to bring that to the library. So we do a lot of singing. I play the keytar for the babies.
The keytar. Can you tell me a little bit more about what the keytar is?
Keytar is like a cross between a piano and a guitar. It's like if a piano and a guitar had a baby together, it'd be a keytar. So that's what I play for all the toddler times and the baby times and the preschool times.
Okay. So can you tell me, you mentioned 3 age ranges before. Can you tell me about the toddler one was what, 0 to 18 months?
Toddler time is 18 months to 3 years. And so that's a lot of the same stuff as baby time, a lot of action rhymes and short books and stories and songs. And then preschool story time is 3 to 5-year-olds, and we get into slightly longer books and still a lot of songs.
And a lot of strong visual representations in the books as opposed to learning vocabulary at this point.
Lots of picture books is what we do.
So you sound like you're passionate about this. What motivates you to do this on an ongoing basis?
It's a great job, and it's great to see kids in the library and learning and reading and having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and can you tell us a bit more about the location, the new branch?
Sure.
Can you tell me about what's happening
We're at the
there?
new Nanaimo branch. It's at 6250 Hammond Bay Road. It's a fantastic brand new building. It's one of 3 libraries in town, so we're getting a lot of new people into the library. So we do have 3 locations here in town and 38 all over the island.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah.
So then what would be the best times for people to come and see you for each age range in the children's groups?
Okay, well, preschool time is 10:30 on Wednesdays. Toddler time is on Fridays at 10:30, and baby time is on Thursdays, and that's every week.
Okay.
So those are the best things to come. If you're a little older, I have some awesome things like Lego Club once a month and Kids Night Out.
Oh, Lego
once a
Club
month.
sounds really good.
Absolutely.
So it gets a chance for them to get used to making things as well as learning about new things, etc.
If you're sitting on a stash of Lego and you want to donate it to the library, just pop it on by.
But that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Nathan, for coming here today and explaining that to us. And we hope that lots of people will be going to the library.
Absolutely. This is...
and becoming part of this family of 72 plus people who have been enjoying all the knowledge that you've been sharing in such a fun way.
Yeah, October is Canadian Library Month, so it's a great time. If you haven't been in a while, come on down.
Okay, yeah, and there's still quite a few days left in
there's
October.
a few days left.
Yes, that's great. Thanks again.
Thanks.
And now I would love to throw to Brian Sukiyama, who is going to be speaking to Morgan West about Science in Action.
Thanks, Joanne. I've got here Morgan West, and we're talking about a group called NS3. That stands for Nanaimo Science and Sustainability Society. That's a mouthful. Morgan, you're the outreach coordinator with this group. Can you tell me a little bit about what the organization's all about?
Yes, you bet. So the NS3 mission is to enhance kids and families' interest in science and sustainability through hands-on learning. So we have several programs that we run, everything from preschool, early years to K to 7, and lots of free programming in the summer and camps and all that good stuff. And our long-term goal is to get a science center here in Nanaimo, and in the interim we hope to have a science studio, fingers crossed, next year.
One event that you've just sent me a little bit of a brochure about is an event October 26th, which is Sunday, coming up very quickly, called the Spooktacular Science Challenge. What's that all about?
So that is our one of our main fundraisers, and this is our second year running it. So last year we had a great turnout, about 200 people, and it's an event that we do all by donation in Bowen Park, and there's several Halloween science-related activities that are throughout the park, and the families follow the course that they just walk. Kids of all ages, they dress up in costume. They get to try out some crazy slime. They get to stick their hands in mystery boxes and see what's inside. There's faculty from VIU as in the chemistry department that do a big demonstration at the end and blow something up, and it's great. It's awesome.
Well, that's a daytime event.
Yes.
One of the other things you mentioned is this Science on the Move program in the schools, and it's meant for which grades?
That can be K to 7. We have various programs that are targeted at different age groups, and some of them can be modified for any age.
Something you've got here, and I'm gonna move my things out of the way, is a little bit of a demonstration of a project you've made or the kids can make as well.
Kids made. This one a kid made, yeah.
Okay.
So this is our motorized insect program, and last year we ran it as an in-school program specifically, but now we do it in school or after school, depending on. It can be, we target it for grades 3 and 4, but it can be we can modify it for various groups. So yeah, the basis of it is that we use recycled materials to make this motorized insect. And what I love about this project is that it sort of blends two disciplines of science, ecology, because we talk about insects and where insects live, the different things that they can do, as well as circuitry and electricity. So it's really nice to touch on those two and blend them together.
And I'm sure people have an old CD sitting around the house.
Exactly, yeah. So the old CD, as well as we use just a regular AA battery, a 3 volt or less motor. We use a piece of an eraser, or it could be anything that you can use as a weight, and then your alligator clips that with the ends kind of exposed.
Okay, so why don't you see if we can get this activated?
Yeah, you bet. So I always tell my kids in science things don't always go the way we want them to. So we always make the circuit and we encourage them to double check that everything is aligned properly. And then if they can get sort of the whole component working so that it will jitter for them, which happens because of this weight that sets it off, exactly like how when you've got a load in the washing machine and it starts to, if it's pushed to one side, you get it, the washing machine will move places. So this causes this rotation in the motor that pulls the jitterbug forward. And if you tell them to adjust their weight, adjust the eraser, adjust the legs, this will jitter all over the place in any given direction. It really depends on how the kids have made it.
A wonderful learning tool. And the fact, again, you should have people contact you, and we've got your email address and your website all on the screen right now.
You bet.
They can contact you about coming into the schools. You've got some bookings. You've got more to come, yeah, I assume.
Yeah.
And that's through the NS3, the Science and Sustainability Society, and it's the Science on the Move program. Thank you for coming in, Morgan.
Thanks so much.
And let's send it over to Joni on the musician set.
And here I am on the musician set, and I am here with two incredibly good musicians that are from, well, they're from all over the place, but I have to say that Nathan Tinkham, you're from Gabriola now.
I live on Gabriola now.
Yes, we're fellow Gabriolans. And we have George McConkey, and you're from a little bit farther north.
Dawson City, Yukon.
So, and you're kind of on your way down to the south.
Yeah, my wife and I are on our way to Mexico, and
passing
it's
through.
an opportunity to get together with Nathan and play some music.
Yeah, amazing to hear you guys together. And when I heard you when you're playing on Gabriola, I just thought, you know, we definitely need to have you on the show. So we've got, how long have you been playing together?
Quite a while now.
Yeah, well, we met, I was on tour in the Yukon in 1997. That's when I met George, and we played all that summer, and then just about every year since.
Right.
We've been to Europe and across Canada, back and forth.
Well, and you've got your own background that is a little bit separate from what George has been doing up north, but you played with Ian Tyson.
Yeah,
his
for
band.
many years. And I lived in Alberta for many years. I grew up on the north end of Vancouver Island, but for many years I was in Alberta, worked with a lot of different people there, including Ian.
Right. So did you meet him through somebody else, or?
I met him on I got hired to play on a video with him, and he liked the way we played, and so
there you go.
it's just how it always works.
The rest is history. And so when you're in town, you just kind of look each other up, and you come through, and, and you're playing some gigs together.
Yeah, I emailed Nathan before I left and see if we could maybe come up with a few places to play, and then we went to that open mic where we met you, and we've had a few dates here and there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but mostly I try to get up to the Dawson City once a year at least, and we always get to play, do a few gigs.
Oh, I'm sure you're popular up there. And you're going to be playing at Longevity John's new place, which we
Sunday.
believe is the showroom.
The new Duncan showroom.
Yeah,
it is.
not to be confused with the old showroom.
No, not the old one.
So, but it's still a great, host, Longevity John, and so that's coming up. And you also have
That's
a
on
dance
the 26th.
on the
and
26th.
a dance on Gabriola on the 25th.
Right, and that's going to be basically a big old barn dance.
Yeah, big old country dance.
That's great. And so you've got people coming from, I know that there's someone coming from Edmonton for that one, and
yeah, and some from North Vancouver and from the Yukon, and
all getting together.
an all-star band, and that's
And it certainly is an all-star band. So now harmonica, that's not something that everyone plays. My brother used to play blues, but you actually play it like a mouth organ, the old-fashioned kind of playing every note. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
well, kind of. I tried to dabble in a few different styles. I certainly started with blues when I first started out, and I just try to keep my ears open to different styles and genres, and try to fit the harmonica to it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's quite amazing, and we're going to hear a little bit more at the end of the show too, just about the harmonica. But having the two of you together, your styles just really meld together, and it's really fun to listen to. So you've got the gigs coming up, and I guess you're going to be going down to Mexico, so we'll be entertaining them down there beside of the border.
Yeah, I go down there, and I've been in the Yukon over 30 years, so
yeah, you get your reprieve.
Wife and I like to get out now in the winters and let it get dark and let it get cold and come back in May.
Okay, we don't want to hear about that. We're going to be here. So, we're going to entertain ourselves with music. And speaking of which, we're going to hand it over to you to sing one of your songs, which is All Night I Tossed and Turned.
it's called
Did
All
I
Night I Tossed and I Turned.
Okay.
It's about something that might have happened but didn't.
Okay, well, let's find out about that. Thanks, guys.
From the moment I saw you, I could feel the burn. All night I tossed and I turned. All night I tossed and I turned. And I couldn't keep my eyes off you as you walked across the room. All night I tossed and I turned. All night I tossed and I turned. Well, I guess that I'll always wonder, was there something I could have said? as you passed close by and you caught my eye. And I said nothing instead. For a moment you lingered. I could smell your perfume. All night I tossed and I turned. All night I tossed and I turned. Tell me about it, George. That I'll always wonder, was there something I could have said as you passed close by and you caught my eye, and I said nothing instead. For a moment you lingered. I could smell your perfume. All night I tossed and I turned. All night I tossed and I turned. Toss and turn. That I'll always wonder, was there something I could have said as you passed close by and you caught my eye, and I said nothing instead. For a moment you lingered. I could smell your perfume. All night I tossed and I turned. 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 Thank you, thank you.
All right, a little bit of musical entertainment. Now it's time for some magical entertainment with the Magic Moment right here with Michael Berends on the show. And we have Matt, you're back.
I know we're getting booed. Look at that. Okay.
Oh,
You
hey,
have the skill.
Matt. Actually, you're going to have the skill today.
Nice.
This is a lot of fun. This deck of cards are all very different. And I want to do this is a prediction card.
The prediction
The
card.
prediction card. That's right.
Like we're talking
This
like
is
the Nanaimo mayoralty race or something like that?
Almost. Something like that. Really, really close.
Yeah.
You take the cards.
Nice.
Want you to deal them down. Deal one right there.
Just like
On top of there.
the first one?
Just one, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You want to stop there? Yes or no? Doesn't matter. You can.
Okay,
All right.
no.
Yeah, we'll go next.
Okay. All right.
All right. You just keep going until you want to stop. You can stop anywhere you want.
I'm going right there, number 4.
Right there?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yeah.
You're positive?
Yeah.
Do you want to go to the next one?
I could go with the next one.
It's up to you.
I'm going 4.
You're going to go 4?
Go 4, yeah.
All right. Well, look at this. You could have picked any one of these. Any one.
Yeah.
But you're not going to believe this. Just take a look. You stopped me right there. They matched. Wow, that's pretty cool, huh, Matt?
Wow. Yeah.
All right. You know what? Here, we'll put this one away because I have another prediction card, and we're going to do it again.
Okay, all right.
You want to try it again?
Do you need to put these cards back on there or no?
Sure, if you want. Let me see if I can get this one out. Wow. Another prediction card. This time it's going to be a little different. Yeah, that's fine. You can
Put
put
them on
them
the
wherever
bottom?
you want.
Okay, all right.
This is going to be
back to you.
totally random. This is what I'm going to do. This time, Matt, we're going to run down the edge of the deck, and I want you to say stop at any time. Now, this is the cool part, because this time we're not going to try and get it on your card exactly.
Okay.
What we're going to do is have half of the card that you selected. I know that sounds weird. So if you pick a 4, that's going to be a 2.
If I pick king, will be 2 jacks?
I don't know. We'll find out. Let's see what we get. We're just going to run through. Just tell me when to stop at any time. You ready?
All right. Stop.
Right there?
Yeah.
All right. Take a look at it.
Take a look at it.
Show the camera. Show me. There it is. You got it?
Yep.
Right on. What'd you get?
7-0 spades.
No, that can't be right because I said it was going to be half of that.
So it's the 3.5 of diamonds.
3.5 of spades.
Oh, that's spades, sorry. Yeah.
Well, Matt, you know what? I think I'm feeling pretty lucky because today we got it right. The 3.5 of spades.
What the?
Matt, thank you so much for having some fun with me today here.
It's always fun. Thanks so
on
much.
the show.
Come on, big round of applause. Michael Berends, magic moment. That is awesome stuff. Wow. Okay, great stuff. You're watching the show on Shaw TV. A little magic of myself. I'm going to reach into the side of this television here and pull out my notes.
Whoa,
all right, so there.
Stop it!
Todd's really excited. Again, we're about halfway through. And again, that magic was a lot better than that. Anyways, in addition to that stunning magic trick you just saw right there, what else have we seen on the show so far? We've had some stunning music as well from Nathan Tinkham and George McConkey. We've also, we're going to have some more songs with them as well over the course of the show, and I might try to learn something also. Stay tuned for that. We've also learned about some upcoming science programming from the Nanaimo Science and Sustainability Society. We've also heard about some youth and infant programs from the Vancouver Island Regional Library up in North Nanaimo. And we've also talked about creativity and spirit with artist Michelle Fire-Riverheart. She'll also be back later on the show as well. The rest of the hour, again, more music. We also have some lantern making coming up, as well as an interview with an author whose books delve into sort of the dark side of addiction, but again, with the aim to sort of empower, educate, and support. So again, a real powerful segment. Really looking forward to that. Before I do move on to the show, though, I've got a little bit of a note about upcoming fundraiser for one of my favorite events of the year. It's the Vancouver Island Short Film Festival. There's a film festival happens generally in early February. 2 days of amazing short films, no films longer than 12 minutes. Actually, a number of good folks here at Shaw TV, and then I've actually put some films and worked on some. It's a really amazing film community. Now, the festival, they do get some local sponsorship and some help out with organizations to help get the festival going, but there's a way for you to help as well, and for a very good time. There's a fundraiser happening down at the Firehouse Grill in downtown Nanaimo, Thursday, November 6th. And again, it's a chance to sort of meet and mingle with a number of people from the Nanaimo film community. There's also going to be some live music, some artists, some movie trivia. I've only watched the movie Airplane, so any other movie, I'm really out to lunch on that. Striker. Also some drinks, some appies, and again, getting the chance to meet a lot of local film directors, actors, and much, much more. So again, check it out. It's the Vancouver Island Short Film Festival fundraiser, Firehouse Grill. That's happening on Thursday, November 6th, starting at 7 p.m. Tickets for that are at the door, and for more information on the film festival or on the festival itself, just check them out on their website, visff.com. All right, moving on with the show now. I think we're going to throw it back over to Brian, who's going to be a little bit crafty for us. Brian, let's throw it over to you.
Thanks, Matt. I have here with me today local artist Joanne Gallipo, and she's going to talk a bit about and help me make a lantern. And these are lanterns that can float. If you can see that this one is made of a styrofoam base.
Yes.
And Joanne, very simple. I'm looking at the materials.
Yes.
Barbecue skewers and a bunch of tissue. And what are we going to do with this as we put this together?
We're going to make a lantern similar to this one. So we're going to put glue on the skewers, and we're going to cut paper, colorful paper, and you can put different color paper on different section of the lantern.
Okay.
And you glue your candle here, and you're good to go.
Now these lanterns are floating lanterns.
These are floating lanterns, and you can attach them together so you can have a string of lanterns floating.
Okay, now you're doing a lantern workshop November 8th.
Saturday, November 8th.
At a new location called the Iron Oxide Art Supply.
Yes.
It's in the old fire hall at 5 Victoria Crescent. And you have a children's workshop in the morning.
Yes, the children will make the simpler lantern like this, the floating lantern. And they can make it as fanciful as they want or as simple as they want. And in the afternoon from 12 to 5, adults can make the biggest lantern.
Okay. Now, the hope with this and with the Lantern Workshop is that you're going to have a festival, a lantern festival, and you're going to do this in, I guess it's Maffeo Sutton Park, downtown.
No, we're going to do it at Bowen Park.
Oh, at Bowen Park, okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to float these lanterns along the river or in the
yes,
pond?
well, there's going to be, we're going to float them on the pond, but
Okay.
there's also going to be a community band, live band.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will lead the procession.
So you have bands, music,
Yeah.
art in terms of the lanterns. Why lanterns? Why did you get involved in this?
I got involved in lanterns with the Public Dream Society in Vancouver.
Okay.
And it was magic. Like we just saw magic tricks, but this is magic too. It's so magic to hold a little lantern in the big darkness. And this is for winter solstice, the longest night of the year. So we celebrate the return of the light with our little lantern.
Well, that's actually quite something to anticipate, that we have the shortest day and longest night on December 20th.
Yes.
And everything gets longer after that for daylight.
I know, yes.
So we're going to get back here and we'll look at the finished product as we finish working on this lantern and talk a little bit more about your festival.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's head over to, I guess we're going back to our entertainers, George and Nathan.
Well, her windshield's cracked and her tires are worn. Paint's all faded and her seats are torn. She ain't too pretty, that couldn't matter less. Oh, how I love my diesel Chevette. Well, she's hard to start and she's slow on the hills. She'll go 100 miles on a $5 bill. Sounds like a tractor, I know she'll never quit. Oh, how I love my diesel Chevette. Well, the heads all turn when I cruise through town. One hand on the wheel with the windows down. I got George Jones on an old 8-track set. Well, she's light on her feet, but she holds through the road. She blows black smoke when I pour her on the coal. 500,000 miles, she hasn't failed me yet. Oh, how I love my diesel Chevette. Sounds like this. Heads all turn when I cruise through town. One hand on the wheel with the windows down. I got George Jones on an old 8-track set. Well, no, I don't worry wherever I roam. She gets me there and then she takes me home. 500,000 miles, she hasn't failed me yet. Oh, how I love my diesel Chevette. Tell me about it. Heads all turn when I cruise through town. One hand on the wheel with the windows down. I got George Jones on an old 8-track set. Well, she's light on her feet, but she holds to the road. She blows black smoke when I pour her on the coal. 500,000 miles, she hasn't failed me yet. Oh, how I love my diesel Chevette. Oh, how I love my diesel Chevette. Diesel Chevette. Thank you.
All right. We are back here with Michelle River Fire-Riverheart. We're talking with her about a little bit of creativity from the heart and soul. We've learned a little bit about some of the stuff earlier on in the show, and now we're going to learn a little bit more. We have a drum.
You have a drum. Why do we have a drum as a shamanic coach? Well, I use it to help people do trance drum journeys. So that's, you put your client into a trance.
Yeah.
They go up into the spirit realm and they have an experience. And we have 2 of them coming up in November. One on November 5th at the Nanaimo Museum, and it's about medicine wheels.
Medicine wheels, I have it right here. It costs $40 to go.
Yeah, so you learn about medicine wheels. We use them as knowledge medicine wheels, and then we also use them to do ceremonies. So we have physical medicine wheels in this reality and up in the spirit realm. Oh. Woohoo, cool.
Awesome. And then you have another one on Wednesday, November 19th also, right?
Yep, that one's at Solace Wellness Center, and I have workshops there once a month, all through till spring. And that one coming up in November is about your power animal. So if you'll notice, I have dolphins.
Dolphins.
Dolphins. Dolphin is my center power animal. So it means it's the animal I'm the most like. So what does that mean to me, knowing that? Well, I used to be a person that wasn't very social, didn't like people very much. And dolphins are very gregarious. They love people, they love community, they're very playful. I was very serious, Michael. I was a serious girl. And so it's taught me to lighten up. It teaches you about your own naturalness, is what your center power animal does.
That's perfect. So these are the things that people can learn by going to.
They will go and they will pull it themselves. I'm not the font of knowledge or the oracle. I coach people through to their own experiences, their own knowledge, their own wisdom.
Wow, that's great. I noticed we have, speaking of music and drums, we have some other things to do. We have some tuning forks, we have some crystals. The crystals here are numbered?
Yes, this is called a 10-wheel set. We use them to lay on the body or around the body, to balance the body, to put energy in and out of the body. All things to help you heal, whether you're sick or not. We all get out of balance every day a little bit. So this, especially for depression, I use these actually myself for depression. I've always suffered with depression. In the winter, when I have to work on my strategies really hard, which is another long workshop I teach, I use those every day. I lay on them and balance my whole system, and that along with many other strategies like sun lamps and food
and that kind of
exercise.
thing help you get through those kind of winter blues and the winter blahs.
It raises your neurochemistry.
Oh, wow.
So it helps,
Wow, very, very interesting. And the crystals work because they resonate?
Yeah, the crystals, as we all know, are in computers and watches, etc. for a good reason. Scientifically, they either store or move or put in energy. There are little transmitters. And so that's why we use plain quartz crystal in our shamanic work, because it's got the highest frequency and therefore the biggest impact.
Wow.
So these are kind of my tools, and drums as well. We can use them to, if you've ever had a drum on your body, it's the most amazing experience.
Wow.
And
Wow, this is all so interesting. Now, you hold a bunch of different, you don't call them seminars, you call them experiences?
I call them experiences. I started off calling them workshops, and it just wasn't right. They are experiences because they are designed to help you heal something, or gain more knowledge, or help you learn how to access your intuition more. My pathway is a ceremonial pathway, so, and every ceremony is an experience.
Wow, that is great. Well, we have learned so much here on the show today with you, Michelle. And if you look up Michelle Fire-Riverheart on Google, I'm pretty sure we can find all these different experiences that you offer, and you can find out more about you.
That's right. My company's Galago Healing, so you'll find it on the net.
Perfect. Well, that's it with Michelle Fire-Riverheart. We are now on to the main set with Joanne.
Thank you, Michelle and Michael. That was a very interesting presentation. I certainly learned a lot about experiences as opposed to workshops. I'm very delighted to present as my second interviewee tonight, Lorelie Rozzano. She's an author, and she also works at the Edwidge Treatment Center. And she's already published 2 books. You may have heard of the titles Jagged Little Edges and Jagged Little Lies. But tonight she's going to talk about another book. She's going to talk about Gracie's Secrets, a little book with a powerful message. I just love that, the subtitle you've assigned to that. And so it would be wonderful if you could share with us what motivated you to write this book.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here and talking about a very difficult subject, right? What motivated me to write the book was, first of all, I grew up in an alcoholic family, so I know what it feels like to be a little person in a family without a voice. And so for our kids that are growing up in families, and this is not just for alcoholic families by any means, this is for any family that's going through a difficult time, such as divorce or blended families, step families, mental health issues, different things like that. And oftentimes our little people don't have a voice in that, and so for kids that can't describe their feelings, it comes out as behaviors, right? So we see it all over the schoolyards. So I wrote this book really, and I think for big people too, to develop a relationship with our feelings and to have emotional language. So that's what you can find in that book.
Along with it's such an important narrative, it's got some amazing illustrations. I was just noticing as I was flipping along here, like this is beautiful work to depict the situations that children find themselves in this kind of family setting.
Right.
It's very inspiring to read about that. What is your which market are you reaching, if you will, if I can use a word such as market with this book?
That's a great question. I think it's an open market, and certainly I want to appeal to the kids, and perhaps any parent, if you're going through a difficult time, take the opportunity to read this and see if it applies to your children. You know, our kids that, in homes that have difficult situations happening in them, lots of times kids can feel responsible for the parents or for the troubles in that home. And so they start to feel anxious and scared and confused and different than other kids. And so they take on responsibility for the family. And, you know, and kids that can't, again, talk about feelings, they tend to grow up and have some really unhealthy behaviors. So I think that this is, and for marriages, I mean, sometimes it's really difficult in a marriage to say, hey, here's how I'm feeling, right? So this just really opens the door to healthy communication.
I just so appreciate the fact that it's the goal is to make this more of a subject that can be discussed in the open, as opposed to, you know, people not acknowledging that there's a problem going on.
Yeah, and most everybody knows. I mean, addiction affects 1 in 7. So we all love someone or know of someone that is going through this, and most of us kind of don't want to address it. And this allows you to address it in a really comforting, open way, and it encourages you to do that. Yeah.
So have you been presenting it with readings in the community? Or?
Well, I think that's coming. Definitely that's coming. This little book actually is in our Bounce Back program, where I work at the Edgewood Treatment Center helping kids, and it's gone into other treatment centers. Some of the teachers are taking it into the schools, so I'm really excited about where it's going.
And I believe when we were talking before, you said it's also available in libraries.
Yeah, it's all my books are available here in the library, which is, Jason's not here anymore, but they're in the library on Vancouver Island, and you can get them on Amazon.ca.
Okay, well that's great to hear. And when you were talking, going back to the situations that the children find themselves in where it's difficult, have they spoken to you about how this helped them in learning that they're not alone in going through these kinds of experiences?
Yeah, they're absolutely relieved. Most kids, you know, when you get them, when they're in a group with other kids and they understand that they're not the only one going through this, they're very, very relieved. So yeah.
Well, I'm honored to be able to share this experience on the show tonight, because it's such a vitally important message and a chance for people to feel that they're not alone in these kinds of experiences. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I'd like to throw back again to Brian. Brian is returning with Joanne Galipeau, who is showing us about how to construct lanterns.
Thanks, Joanne. So many Joannes. I have a Joanne Galipeau here, and we started working on the project, which was working on the lantern. Obviously, with the time we had, we've only got this far, but you can work with white glue, you can work with masking tape, and you put it on a styrofoam base. The finished product shows you here what it can look like and how dressed up it is. This gives you an idea of what the lantern would look like. And Joanne, if you can give me one of those candles that we have. The candle just goes on the bottom, and there is one here that's a non-live fire item. And this is a beautiful lantern, and it would have great effect in the dark, floating.
It looks beautiful in the water, because there's a reflection, and it's quite gorgeous.
And we link those together. Can you bring a few of those other ones over? And these are some of the examples of different ones, and I'll hold this one. This is much taller lantern with a taller candle in it.
This is an old, this one has been in many processions. It's probably 15 years old, so if you poke a hole in it, you can just patch it up and you create a new...
and this one's obviously done with paper mache?
No, it's all done with tissue paper, but this one has many different layers.
Okay.
So it builds up.
And this one is not so much floating, it's just held?
Yeah, this one is to hold,
and carry in a procession.
Yes.
You see the great artwork that's going on that. And then the other one here, this is one that I should hold for you. And you can talk about it, Joanne.
Well, this is the one that we'll do with adults in the afternoon on November the 8th. It takes, well, it takes longer to do it. You need more dexterity. It's a more complicated lantern to make. And this one, we hook them on a bamboo pole and we carry them on a procession.
And you get an idea how complicated they are or how intricate by the fact that there's a candle in the back. Good. So let's recap. I'm going to move that over there so it's not covering us up. The lantern making workshop is at Iron Oxide, and we have the website, the email address for people contacting, or the website for the Lantern Festival.
Yes.
And Nanaimo Lanterns, and it's at Nanaimo Lanterns at
gmail.com.
Gmail.com, and they can get all the information about the workshop.
This is not a website, it's just an email address, but
email
we'll
address.
answer all the requests.
Okay. And then again, you have your festival that'll be on the winter solstice.
Yes, Saturday, December 20th at 4:30.
Wonderful, and that's all in Bowen Park.
Yeah, Bowen Park.
Well, let's head back over. I think we're getting back to our entertainers.
No, I'm cutting in first. I'm somewhat entertaining. Boo! Sorry, that was my Halloween tie in there, exactly. So Brian, thanks so much for heading this segment up. Joanna, thank you so much for being here. I know I've been at a couple events over the years where as part of a ceremony or event, it's been like, you know, some lanterns, floating candles that are seen on the water. It's just a beautiful sight and really strong for a lot of stuff. So thank you much for all your work and bringing this together and the events you're involved with. So and thanks so much for being here as well.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Brian. All right, so moving forward. Now, usually this is the point of the show where I embarrass myself by saying a whole bunch of really ridiculous puns, but instead I've decided to embarrass myself in a bit of a different way this time. I am going to attempt to first kick Raymond, and then secondly, I'm going to try... Sorry, buddy. It's those new tattoos you got going on there that are just got me a little intimidated, I guess. Yeah. Todd's impressed. He's next in line for the ink. All right. No, I'm going to embarrass myself by trying to go over and talk to this gentleman again here, who not only has the nickname of harmonica, played with some of the biggest guys, and now I've got to sit here and try to learn how to play a little bit of harmonica.
I just happen to have one here for you.
Exactly. All right. Well, first off, I got those over here. All right. Not make a mess. All right. So first off, tell us the general basis how you play this.
Okay. How do you play it? Well, in 30 seconds. All right. Let's just say we both have C harmonicas. They're both C's.
You can see it. I can see it.
And it's so when harmonicas were invented, originally they were invented to play in the key that it is printed on it. So this is a C, and if on the harmonica, in the first three notes, you have C, E, and G, which produce a C chord, and on the draw 3, you have D, G, and B, and that's a G chord, which is the 5 chord for the key. So it was made to play in simple melodies, and when the blues guys got a hold of it, they kind of thought it was being played incorrectly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a C harmonica and try and play a little bit of simple blues in the key of G, only on a C harmonica, by using that first triad on the bottom, which is a D, a G, and a B, which is a simple G chord. So already we're going leaps and bounds because we're using a C to play in the key of G. See? So here we go. Let's do a little. He's a sax player, so he does understand this. So it just takes, I've been playing many years, and he's bold enough to try and take it on in front of a camera on TV.
There's no pads,
so
no notes here.
Let's just do a simple blues riff like... Okay, so that's just, we'll simplify it even more. It's just a D and B.
So I'm going to ask you real quick.
Try not to look at the harmonica.
Before I try it, so I'm just going to point this up to a chart over there. So basically, you see a whole bunch of those representing different notes. How do I know which of the holes there, which to start on?
Okay, well, we're staying within the first 4 holes.
The first 4. Okay, all right, there we go.
D, and there's one. The first octave is right there. So.
Okay.
Okay, so 3 and 2. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, now let's try and take that, and by curving our tongue down, we're going to try and bend that. So just listen to me. We're going to be shaking.
Oh, okay, we're shaking. All right.
You can either shake your head or you can shake the harmonica. No. Just follow me.
All right.
And so using that low chord and the draw chord, you can get kind of a little rhythm going.
My man, right here.
Then what you do that for about 25 or 30 years. And then when you get sick and tired of doing that, you can speed it up. And the beauty of the harmonica, he's a sax player, so he knows it's really the only wind instrument that you get to blow and draw. So you can do some pretty incredible fast rhythms and really not lose your breath. So I'm just going to demonstrate
Go for
a bit of that,
yeah.
and you come along with me.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for my first harmonica lesson there. Awesome stuff. Come on, guys, another big round of applause here for these gentlemen. I'm thinking, oh my goodness. All right, well, I am going to definitely get to first throw my pen on the floor. Like, I will exchange that pen here for the harp. Thank you so much again.
All right.
For all your help. I'm
Hear it for Matt one more time.
Oh, I don't know about that. So thank you guys so much. Again, I'm getting to the music store. I'm grabbing myself a harp here. So awesome stuff. So again, as well as to our musicians, a big thanks. Let's here wrap up the show to all the staff and volunteers behind the camera, in front of the scenes, our hosts, guests, and many, many more. Thanks to Milano's, actually, who got us some crew meals earlier on before we started filming. Thanks to Milano's. That's right, our last show, and that's right, Standard Def. Thank you much, Howie, for that. Watch out, the show's coming at you in high def here real shortly, so watch out for that. I'll definitely make sure to shave before we do that next show. Hey, you can find the show on Facebook, facebook.com/The Show on Shaw. You can also find us represented on Twitter at that is Shaw Central Vancouver Island. You can find previous episodes of the show there or on YouTube. Again, just search for the Shaw TV Central Vancouver Island page. And if you know someone who wants to be on the show, should be on the show, or you want to be on your show yourself, just drop a note to our executive producer, Melissa Hall. Her email address is melissa.hall@sjrb.ca. Love to hear from you. Love, of course, to highlight folks, events, happenings, and much, much more here in Central Vancouver Island. All right, to finish off one more song, again, thank you, Nathan, George, being here. Seriously, that was so much fun for me, and great to have you guys on the show. And so we're going to have a song named after my diet. It's called Whiskey Before Breakfast. And again, it's Nathan Tinkham, Harmonica George, McConkey. It's the show. You're watching right here on Shaw TV. Gentlemen.